around. But the major point is, guys, we got to talk about Keyshawn Davis. That fight is off. Wherever you guys are tuning in, whenever you're tuning in, the main event is off tomorrow. We got Abdullah Mason stepping up to fight Jeremiah Nicotila. Keyshawn's camp and Edwin De Los Santos' camp couldn't come to terms. And I documented it in our post section. If you go to the community post section, you can see what the press release was. One of my buddies is at the fight, part of the media, and Top Rank emailed all the media guys there to say that the fight's off, and that it came down to they couldn't, before they even got a chance to talk about money, coming to an agreement. De Los Santos' handlers were worried about a rehydration clause in Keyshawn's favor. They said that Keyshawn wouldn't be allowed to put on more than 149 pounds during the second weigh-in at 9 a.m. on fight day. And then it was off before they even got to negotiations about money, how much Keyshawn's purse would go to De Los Santos. And we could chop it up and talk about, it's an unfortunate situation. There's no way around it. But yeah, I'm watching the card on DAZN. There's been some good fights. It's the card in New York, the Hall of Fame card. Key lost so much support from his hometown too. The kid been vocal about his mental, don't want to blast it. He could deal with the hate. I didn't hear that. So his hometown, how do you know? What are you referring to his hometown's going after him? I mean, people, it's not professional, but it is boxing. It happens. This Joe Hicks fight, Wendy Tousant fight, Tousant was a big underdog. He's beating Joe Hicks up 3 rounds in. It's going to ruin some parlays for sure if this keeps it up. But things like, people miss weight. And, it reminds me of the Garcia-Haney instance where Garcia was on talking about how he missed weight on purpose. Yeah, Joseph Hicks is he's getting beat up. He can't do anything in this fight. He can't get Wendy Tousant's respect. Nothing looks heavy, and Tousant is pot-shotting him. Yeah, Tousant's pace right now is really bothering Joseph Hicks. And we've seen Tousant before. We saw him fight against Ardrill Holmes. Holmes is the guy who just lost to Erickson Lubin. I'm from Norfolk. Biased with the rumors I'm hearing, but people not happy at all. Yeah, a lot of people went there to see exactly. I get that. That's fair, guys. It's fair. Bud Crawford was interviewed right after. No, it's all good. Bud Crawford was interviewed about his perspective on Keyshawn, and he said it's time for him to move up. Yeah, Neil, Hicks looks real slow. So yeah, I'm kind of multitasking. We could talk about Keyshawn, we could talk about the card, but I'm also watching the DAZN card in New York, headlined by the heavyweights. Brandon Moore. This is Joseph Hicks. He was $1.30 versus Wendy Tousant. At close, Wendy was almost a 3-1 dog, and Wendy is bullying him. Like I said, it's probably going to ruin some parlays. I have a long parlay with Joseph. I took Joseph Hicks. He's getting beat everywhere. He's getting beat on his counters. But yeah, I know a lot of people are pissed at Keyshawn. That was a nice right hand. And then everybody's calling him out. Whenever things like this happen, you see the boxers come out of the woodwork. Emiliano Vargas called Keyshawn out. He fights at 154. But if you take a look at Edwin De Los Santos and watch the weigh-in, yeah, Neil, if you watch the weigh-in with De Los Santos, he didn't look good. So if you read that press release, it wasn't like they couldn't come to terms with the money. This is the important bit. It wasn't like the camps couldn't come to terms with money. Keyshawn obviously missed weight. He was going to be the bigger guy. He didn't suffer through the weight cut, and De Los Santos did. I posted a photo of De Los Santos on our post section on the channel. He didn't look well. It was a brutal weight cut from everybody who was involved with De Los Santos, and they said that they didn't want to risk the health of their fighter. I totally understand. But it's all on Keyshawn. Keyshawn has to make weight. Mate, it's just unfortunate when the sport you lose the belt, you get stripped on the scale. This happened with Shakur. What's up, GOAT? Yeah, everyone's a little bit bummed out. I mean, good for Abdullah Mason steps up. Abdullah Mason now is the headliner with Jeremiah. I definitely expect Abdullah Mason to have a great performance. It is terrible news. Let me know if you guys are tuning into these DAZN fights, because if Hicks ruins my parlay, I might have to start chasing. The over/under on Abdullah is 3.5. Damn tough to pick around. It is tough to pick around. How about just a stoppage? I know, Keyshawn. Yeah, Wendy Tousant is fighting like an animal right now. Yeah, and you see it. It happens, and they still fight. Yeah, 900. I mean, is the juice worth the squeeze? So you got to pick a range. I'd say first half of the fight. But then again, Jeremiah's a veteran. You know what I mean? I think Nakatila could maybe survive at least a little bit. I think Abdullah stops him. Jeremiah's been in there with some solid fighters. Yeah, Joseph Hicks is losing every round, every exchange. He doesn't have the power to get Wendy Tousant's respect. Keyshawn should be fine. I think so. I mean, I know Keyshawn's been very vocal about not wanting... If you guys don't know, whenever you're a champion, when you have one of the big belts, the IBF, WBC, WBO, or WBA, you have to pay for the belt. The only belt that you don't pay for as a fighter is the ring belt. That's the only belt these fighters don't have to pay sanctioning fees for. And some of the it's not cheap either. And Keyshawn's been vocal about that. And so he said that it really didn't matter about losing that belt because of that and wanting to move up to 40. Those are excuses, in my opinion. You got to be a professional. You're supposed to be a world champion. I'm disappointed in Keyshawn. You guys know I had him winning. We talked about it earlier. The first fight for every fighter is weigh-ins. You got to win that first fight on the scales. Let me know if you guys are tuning into the Tousant Hicks fight. Right now, I have Tousant winning every round. What's up, Badger? Yeah, Crawford was asked right after the weigh-in, right after the fight was canceled. He simply said to a reporter, time for Keyshawn to move up. We all say that. And Keyshawn, like, the rehydration clause was at 149. Yeah, the belt payments are nuts. I just feel bad for the fans, Koki. That's what I'm talking about. This event to attend a fight today in the Bronx to support my gym. And that it's about the fans. And, you know, if there's any saving grace for Norfolk, at least Keyshawn's brothers are on the card. So there are hometown guys on the card. But don't get it twisted. That card was built around Keyshawn Davis. You know, it's not every day you get to watch a world title fight in your hometown if you're from Virginia. Wherever you're tuning in, guys, I say welcome. Like this video. We went live earlier today to go over our parlays. We're currently streaming the DAZN fight. I know a lot of us have Joseph Hicks. I think Joseph Hicks won his first round. I think he won the 5th. But I think Wendy Tousant won the first 4. And I know a lot of us have Hicks on our money line. Massive disappointment. I also want to see Edwin fight. Yeah, once again, Koki, you bring up great points. Another thing, how long, especially with Edwin, you know, he hasn't fought in 18 months. To go through a fight camp and then a weight cut like that is insane. So it's not like De Los Santos could just put his hand up and be ready to fight just like that. Yeah, Ingram looked great today. I didn't catch that fight. I know there's some... I think Price Taylor, Lazada. Did Bryce Mills fight? Yeah, Edwin looked awful. Edwin looked terrible. Has Bryce Mills fought yet on this card? I'm not seeing any outcomes. He fought Aaron Aponte. I'm actually Stanley right next. I missed a few fights. There's a few fights left, GOAT. You got West GOAT. You got Stanley, Brandon Moore. I think after this fight you got maybe Pagan? I don't know. I'm not sure. BoxRec has it scattered, guys. Felix Cash. I didn't bet on that fight. I'm not sure. Yeah, Manny, I'm not sure about any of these results. I just got home from boxing myself. I was at the train station when I found out the fight was canceled. I just left the gym. Appreciate you going live during real time of the fights. Best stage. Thanks, Koki. I appreciate it. It's something I just started doing a couple weeks ago, going live. But I'm a fight head. I'm a boxing head. Oh, sparring. I took too many shots. I'm not. How did your workout? The workout went great, guys. And I'm not sparring young dudes. Like I said, I'm 43 now, so I'll spar guys that we're just trying to get working. We're trying to problem solve. But my mindset always is I'm still trying to work on my game, offensive and defensive. So my whole focus the last 6 months has been working on my infighting, clinch, and he just got cracked. And fighting off my lead shoulder, in the pocket, trying to land my right hand. So sometimes when you're fighting in the clinch, you get tapped when you shouldn't get tapped, but it's all good. No one's trying to hurt each other. I like the stoppage in that, Mark. More and right. Look at the odds if you could pick a stoppage. You go home like that, all that work. I train for a living too, guys. Like I'm a coach. I don't only train myself, I'm also a coach. And I have a gym set up under my house. So my one-on-one clients, they come to me, and then on Saturdays, I venture out to the city of Sydney to spar with some guys. But yeah, I live like a samurai. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I eat raw whole foods. I drink water. The only supplement I take is coffee. I have coffee beans that I make at 4:45 a.m. right when I wake up, and I use that as kind of a pre-workout, and that's kind of like my supplementation. But I eat real foods. I avoid like high processed foods. I don't eat fast food. So I pay attention to my macronutrients, the ratio of proteins, fats, and carbs versus and how those ratio out. But this is boxing, baby. We don't have to talk about that boring shit. It's funny how that turns around full circle. Keyshawn, Bully, and Mason. I know. Coffee is good. No sugar. Yeah, I do it black. Johnny lives like GSP. I don't know how GSP lives, but that's how I live. Some of my... I really have always looked up to men who are older. This is when I was young too. I always looked up to men who are older, athletes, even philosophers. Alan Watts is one of my favorite guys to learn from. If you don't know it, he passed away years ago. Joseph Campbell. I like men who live a certain way and take care of their mind and body. So I've always I wasn't always accurate in my 20s. I was a maniac in my 20s. But I was able to get everything sorted in my early 30s. Round 7, guys. We're sweating this parlay. I know you mentioned a few times how I am high on Tiger. Yeah, Boca Chica is young, though, and I'm not 100% confident on that. Karma bitch, Key tried to punk Abdullah. Gold member, great point. I know. It bums me out. I'm happy for Abdullah. And not to mention Jeremiah Nicatilla's main eventing. I got a bachelor's in kinesiology. There you go. So I appreciate your contribution to the field. I do work in physical therapy for smart. Amazing, mate. That's awesome, man. Dude, I can tell you're an intelligent guy. Paying it forward. But, yeah, it is gold member. You're right. It is karma. Call it what you will. But you got Abdullah Mason now and Jeremiah Nicatilla headlining. Shout out to Abdullah. I know. I think in boxing, the true boxing like nerds like us, we don't really care if a guy handles himself a certain way, but you want a champion to act like a champion. You want a world champion, an undefeated a young guy that a lot of us watched in the amateurs, who you watch progress up and then become a world champion. You want him to kind of carry himself like a champion. And I think there's something to that. And, I think he went, we'll start selling out Norfolk. You never know. There's stories in boxing where that's happened with fighters. Why not take Abdullah Mason and mentor him? I know this is, I'm a romantic, guys. I'm a romantic, and I could be, a lot of people won't agree. But, Keyshawn had an opportunity on stage to kind of like approach Abdullah a different way. And he went one way. And they're fighters. These guys, this is a blood sport, so I'm not judging him. But I think that was he missed a couple opportunities in the last 24 hours. Flo Moho, the fight that's on right now is the Hall of Fame, New York Hall of Fame card, headlined by Brandon Moore. We're watching the Joseph Hicks and Wendy Tousant fight. Tousant was a big underdog, and I think he's winning the rounds. Orlando Salido act like this. Garcia, Keyshawn, Tree weigh-ins. Only slimes like Orlando. I know. Good point. Yeah, Keyshawn trying to be the spotlight. And Keyshawn didn't have to be the spot. He was already the spotlight. When you put on performances like he did, like we last saw him against Lemos, you don't have to. And Baranchek, you don't have to. Yeah, we got that Josh Kelly point method of victory too. That 183. Yeah, nobody wanted all the. You should have saw. Read the comments of my Josh Kelly video. How many people were hating on Kelly? I don't get the hate he gets. I knew he stopped a domestic level Romanian guy in the first round. Not even with a big shot. It was just a lead hook. Yeah, it's weird the hate Kelly gets, man. I like watching Kelly fight. Thank you. I'm gonna throw it on right now. Yeah, it's on Tousant, Flu. We're in the 7th round. Tousant is landing at will. Hicks lands a left hook. I think I got Wendy. Yeah, dude. Ethan, good. Hicks is winning this fight, man. No. Tousant is winning this fight. Hicks needs to win 8-9, 8, 9, and 10, and probably needs a knockdown. Yeah. What did you try to tell us, God? Are you saying about De Los Santos? Who's fighting right now and where? Wendy Tousant is fighting Joseph Hicks in New York. Keyshawn fight's canceled. Yeah, it is messed up, mate. They couldn't come to an agreement. It wasn't even with the money, Fast Car. It was with the rehydration. And also, Edwin's handlers, they were worried about Edwin's weight cut, his own weight cut. Look at the you can watch the videos of De Los Santos. I put a photo up in our group. He looks so drained. I guess De Los Santos had a brutal weight cut to make that weight. So when you kill yourself to cut those last 3 pounds and your opponent doesn't, it leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And rumor is it was more of that because the fight got canceled before they even started negotiating how much purse Keyshawn would have to give De Los Santos. So this is something to think about. Johnny was the first on my feed. And I was coming from the gym, Googie. I clicked on ring. I get notifications by the ring. Yeah, Muscle Brown just hit me up. Then they would take it. Then they would have took any deal. Yeah, they were just worried about his health. I mean, you guys could do your own research. Mar the Prince, Keyshawn News is unfortunate, but at least Ohio's on. Mar, I said the same thing. Abdullah gets the main event, especially how Keyshawn tried to big brother him. Yeah, of all the guys to big brother, Abdullah Mason, seems like such a nice dude. It's revenge because Wendy fought Hicks' friend-in-law. I didn't know that. Ethan, I didn't know this. You guys got to give me some heads up on this. I'm in Australia. I didn't know Wendy fought Hicks' boy. I was so damn close going to this fight. This is a huge moment for Mason. I agree. Mason has his core group of fans. Yeah, Hicks is gonna ruin my parlay. I mean, I know Hicks is a Detroit guy or a Michigan guy, and this fight's in New York. I never feel comfortable when we're hoping for a robbery, even if I don't ever cheer for the robbery, man. I want the best guy. I want the guy who's supposed to win, even if it ruins my parlay. But Wendy, right now, round 8, Wendy deserves to win this fight. Yeah, those win. I know something about the Midwest guys. Yeah, is Wendy Tousant Puerto Rican or Haitian? Wendy Tousant's from Haiti, right? Was he raised in Haiti or was he raised in New York? Ohio, Michigan. Yep, exactly. Because Tousant represents Haiti, but I know there's a big Haitian population in the city of New York too. So if this, I'm bummed about the day. Yeah, we're all bummed, man. Like I said, so are we done seeing Keyshawn 35? So the last time we got to see him was the time he won the belt. Never got to defend the belt. I mean, move up to 40. Everybody, when you miss weight, I mean, your stock, obviously, he was on the cusp, I thought Keyshawn was on the cusp of breaking through in terms of, like, that next level of stardom. It's just unfortunate for both guys. A minute left in the 8th round. The ref just warned Tousant for headbutting and hitting behind the head. I don't see Hicks winning any part of this fight. When does Keyshawn fight is what I want to know. All that training he should try to schedule, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how that works. How's life in Cali compared to Ohio? Mar the Prince. So I left Youngstown full time when I was 18, and then I moved to Pittsburgh to go to college, and then I got to California when I was 23, 24. So I lived in Southern California, Long Beach, for about 7 years. It was the time of my life. I love Southern California. I love Long Beach. I represent Long Beach all the time. There's the LBC hat right there. What's up, said Walcott in the house? We're talking about the cancellation of the key fight, and we're talking this Tousant Hicks Jr. fight. Yeah, I lived right in Belmont Shore. right on the border of Seal Beach and Long Beach for like 7 years. The lifestyle was off the hook. Always, sunny year round. Everybody rides beach cruisers. If I didn't work, I didn't even wear a shirt. I'd go months, I think. I lived right on the water. I'd go months without wearing a shirt, just board shorts. So it was good. I like Sydney, though. I've been in Sydney since 2013. I lived in Vegas for 2 years, so I kind of just pop in and out everywhere. I've been kind of a nomad. Never felt like I belonged anywhere. All right, guys. Our parlay is looking thin. 2 rounds left. Anyone on this feed? I know there's somebody on this feed who told me to take Wendy Tousant. So I'm tipping my hat to you because I didn't see this coming. Obviously, we didn't break down the film. It was in passing on one of our live streams 2 days ago. I was going through the parlay, and somebody was like, Tousant looks like a live dog. And I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, Warren G. That muscle with the Long Beach hat. Dude, the Dove Shack, too. So there's a Long Beach group called the Dove Shack with Nate Dogg's brother, Summertime in the LBC. If you guys are like hip-hop movies in the 90s, there was a movie called The Show. And then one of my favorite soundtracks was The Show soundtrack. And the Dove Shack was on that soundtrack a few times. Warren G and Nate Dogg. I used to hoop with Nate Dogg at the LA Fitness on Cherry and Wardlow. That's real talk. So 2005 to 2008, I used to play ball with Nate Dogg and Scruncho. Scruncho played the assistant pimp in How High. He's a stand-up comic from Long Beach. Yeah. And Nate Dogg could hoop back in the day, man. Nate Dogg was a baller. Scruncho was like, if you watch How High, he was a little assistant pimp in the car with Mike Epps, with talking about that now netta. No one say that now netta like you say now netta, Potter. Yeah, he's a cool dude. So those are my Long Beach days, man. Long Beach is a very diverse place. There's a high school there that's famous for, like, look at Snoop Dogg's graduating class. Snoop went to a high school called Wilson High. Snoop went to high school with Cameron Diaz, the boys from Sublime. I love Immortal Technique. He came out of Puerto Rico. Immortal Technique, man, I used to listen to Immortal Technique back in the day. He's definitely not as famous as Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg's a legend, Nate. Nate Dogg's beats, Nate Dogg's swag. My favorite Nate Dogg of all time, I was at the park one day. That's when the Above the Rim soundtrack. Yes, people sleep on the Above the Rim soundtrack, you young bucks. You young bucks don't know nothing about the Above the Rim soundtrack, but Nate Dogg had a few verses on there. Dude, Joseph Hicks is getting beat up. Yeah, the soundtrack's off the hook. Wendy Tousant came to win this fight. Hicks just looks kind of, he's not going through the gears. He looks stuck. Saw that in the theater. That's a good call. Yeah, it's such a good movie. They don't make movies anymore. I don't think Oh! Hicks is getting caught with everything, mate. I know. And I don't think he could do anything to hurt Tousant. Yeah, he was the king of the hook. Nate Dogg was the king of the hook. And, don't let me talk. People forget about the Johnny, who's winning. I can't pull the stream up. Goat. Hicks is losing. Wendy Tousant is winning. Round 9. I maybe gave Hicks 2 rounds. But when you're looking at aggression, when you're looking at where the fight's taking place, it's all Wendy Tousant. And I know Hicks was 14-0? Hicks was 12-0. And Tousant has a loss to Ardrill Holmes. Oh! Dude, Tousant is just catching him with a, pullback counter right hand every single time. One of my favorite rap albums of all time is The Dog Pound, Dog Food. Mate, when that album came out, I was in my teens. It was like you heard grimy lyrics, but you didn't hear the type of grimy lyrics on the Dog Pound Dog Food album was insane. Highlights of this fight gonna look dope. Yeah, I know, man. My parlay is sleeping right now. New York, New York. Have you ever had some bomb? Old heads will know what I'm talking about. With Corrupt and Daz. Johnny, how's Hicks in fight? Bro, we are losing. Hicks is... If I'm scoring this fight, there's no way you give it to Hicks. There's 1 round left. And, we'll see. The 20-leg part, we got to hope... Yeah, doggy style. What a great... Yeah, 90 Snoop was my favorite. We got to hope for a robbery, guys. I think it's round 10. It's round 10. We got to hope for I hate saying that. I hope Wendy doesn't get robbed here, mate. It sucks that in our sport that's a thing, that we even have to speak that because it happens. We saw Mexico last weekend. We talked about that on our earlier stream with Colazzo. That dude, he lost that fight, man. He looked terrible. The dude who fought Matias last March. I mean, it's weird. It's weird how the announcers, though, are hesitant. It's good to know boxing if your name is Wendy. I heard, ain't that the truth? I wonder if there's a translation in Haiti. If Wendy translates to something in Haiti. Or if it's spelled differently. But for that to... It's interesting with the announcers, though, in these fights. When you clearly see a one-sided fight going down, it's round 10, and they're not saying... They're saying, could Wendy Tousant pull up the huge upset? It's like, no, Wendy Tousant is beating Joseph Hicks up. Can Joseph Hicks survive and learn from this beatdown? Because that's what's going to happen. Hicks only has 12 pro fights. Okay. Wendy had the better resume, but in terms of prospects, people were high on Joseph Hicks Jr. He's just stuck in the same gear. And it started off the first 30 seconds. If you watch this fight from round 1, from the first opening bell, Wendy Tousant took the center of the ring and just started popping and unloading on Hicks. Hicks was never able to kind of get out of that gear. We got a minute 42 left, and then we're going to have to tear a parlay away. They just talked about the parlays on the TV. Guys, on your betting books, on your sports books, I took the key. If you guys have the Keyshawn Davis outcome or Keyshawn Davis fight on your parlay, does it void it or does it cancel your whole ticket? I'm interested in knowing that. All right, now Hicks is trying to fight with a minute 12 left. It's the first time Wendy's been on his back foot. A minute left. Hicks, this is the best Hicks has looked. Void. That's what it should be. See, I don't mind a void. Is there a stream live on YouTube? I'm not sure. It's on DAZN. Not in Australia. Sometimes, let's say I put $100 and the fight gets canceled and there's 3 fights on it, they'll deposit back my $100 and it acts like it never happened. So yeah, it's not. That's why I was asking. 30 seconds left. This is the first time in the fight, guys, where Hicks is taking the center. Ten seconds left. Sometimes Underdog hooks it up. Refunds whenever you lose, though. Yeah, Tousant landed the bigger shots. Uh-oh. We're about to get the decision, guys. Whoever said Wendy Tousant, man, you guys are looking good. Whoever put Joseph Hicks on that 20-leg parlay like me, sorry, boys. It doesn't look good for us. We'll see what happens here. Brandon Moore. Unprofessional. 100%, guys. I mean, we can't talk enough about Keyshawn. So I think Brandon Moore is next. No, we got Pierce O'Leary. Yeah, Brandon Moore's next. All right, that's the order. I think Tousant won, man. What's up, Never Gonna? I appreciate you. Thank you for the support, guys. Did Smith won? Right now, we're watching the Wendy Tousant. They're about to announce the Wendy Tousant Joseph Hicks outcome. I think I took Hicks on my parlay. I think Windy won. Windy did enough to win this fight. Look, hopefully they don't rob him, even though it'll help me. I have to look, Rocky. I'm not sure. Tousant fought too well to get robbed here. They're taking a lot of time getting the scorecards. Oh shit. They're taking a lot of time to get the scorecard. Also, guys, if this ends in a draw, my parlay is still dusted because Australia makes us three-way parlay it. Our odds are based on win, loss, draw. I heard you guys in America, if it's a draw, it's void. Oh my God. They're taking a long time, guys. And now the announcers are like second guessing. There's no, dude, Windy won 8 out of 10 rounds, even though I picked Hicks to win. I'm an ethical guy, guys. The longer you stay on my channel, the more you know. Just because I lose a bet doesn't mean I'm going to say that I should have won it. How about the Pagan fight? Guys, Rocky, I don't know, mate. I got home from the gym. I heard about Keyshawn's fight being canceled, and I went live. Yeah, so Carlos says, Muscle Brown says 7-3 Tousant. I say something similar. They're still not in the ring, though. It's taken a long time to get these scorecards out, guys. If you guys have DAZN, this is where we're watching these fights, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, we got the heavyweights next. Brandon Moore, Stanley Wright. What is taking so long? I'm still pissed off. You guys know how I feel about the scorecards. How you have people who have never thrown a punch judging fights. That is insane to me. Think about that. Think about the how many nuanced movements and the intricate patterns of boxing. Yeah, it is way too long. Right is too big. Oh, right is too big. I would like a prop bet. Look at the Brandon Moore, will the fight go the distance prop bet if you don't want, you know, if you're kind of torn on who to take in that. They're heavyweights. I think somebody's going to get stopped. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It wasn't close. Oh my God. 95-95. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, I can't. Those scorecards. Those scorecards are embarrassing. Those scorecards were embarrassing. 95-95. That's insane. 96-94 is insane. Wow. At least the right guy got the win, but those scorecards were embarrassing. All right, I'm going to put a little... So we got the main event. You guys could... I'm going to leave the chat going. If you're unsure who wins, yeah, that Rocky. I'm gonna add a little bit of wager real quick. Deposit. I'm gonna put some action on the heavies. No, we lost. Yeah, we went some, and that's the long parlay, guys. I never go heavy on the long parlay. I always tell you guys it's fun to see where we're at. Windy Tousant looked good. Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to chase that bet. I'm currently putting money. I think I'm gonna go with the stop. So Brandon Moore, Stanley Wright. Brandon Moore by knockout 285. Stanley Wright by knockout 590. The money line Moore's 141. 95-95. What's the scorecards again for Wendy? 95-95 and then 96-94. It was insane. They tried to rob Wendy. Wendy won. I'm being generous if I gave Hicks 2 rounds. Yeah, Turkey. It's been canceled, mate. We're salty. We're watching, guys. If you're tuning in right now, we're watching the fights on DAZN. The Brandon Moore card. The Josh Pagan fight's next, guys. All right. So we got the Joseph Pagan fight. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer. You had a 96-94 Tousant. Yeah, that's why I didn't see it that close. I thought Tousant won almost every round. I had him up 8-2. I didn't see. I maybe gave Hicks 2 rounds. I thought that was kind of 96-94 is being very generous. That's just my opinion, though. That boxing, it could go. There's a lot of close fights. I put my money on Wright. Money line or stoppage? Because if you pick Wright by money line, it's 380, but by stoppage, it's 560. By decision, 560. So all the money on your boy has him kind of split in half, either winning by decision. I don't see the heavies going the distance, though. Guys, has Antonio? No, I don't think so. Guys, I got to get something to eat. 37 minutes in. Stay tuned to the channel. Boxing's just started. We got boxing all day tomorrow, all day today. I'll put a notification up on my post section so you get notified when I go live. I do lives every day. Hit the bell notification button, guys. A lot of the boys who follow me, they've already done that. So whenever I go live, you'll get notified. Stay tuned to the channel. Sorry we lost our long parlay. Those are the breaks. I'm going to put another one together right now, and I'll post it. Good luck this weekend.